before we jump in there, I just want to ask this question. Can somebody, Anita used some number 90%, and a lot of people say that's bullshit, it's not 90%. So, and that's a New Jersey term for doubt. So what percentage of your customers use the internet to research a car before making a purchase? Anybody want to share honestly? What do you think? Go ahead.
75%.
75%. 99. How many people say 60%? I know somebody in here is thinking 60%. Here's the reason why. I go into markets and they're like, Brian, you know, in Louisville, they don't really use the internet that much here. You know, in Cincinnati, man, you got some sections of Cincinnati, man, it's a newspaper market. It's a newspaper market. Oh, I didn't know that. So, I just want you to know, as I travel around the country, there are dealer principals and general managers that say, Brian, if I want to drive more sales, I do a tent sale on television, I just blast the radio, TV, and my showroom filled up. And I'm not denying that that thing can happen. The real question is, as I mentioned last night, what's the cost of getting that done? What's the cost of driving that traffic? Second, what do you think the primary thing that consumers do when they visit your website? Inventory, do we agree? They're really on your site. So, and schedule service if you have a compelling form, right? Okay. So, you can pick a number, let's just pick a number. Let's be really doubtful. I'm going to say only 60%. The others, they hear your radio or television, they walk in the newspaper and say, well, it's $199 a month, Bob Smith Chevrolet would have a line. That's the best price. I'm sure they put it in a newspaper. They start going to I'm going to buy it. There are people that swear to me that's what happens in the market. They hear the radio commercial, like blah, 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 and when they're ready for a car, they don't go on the internet, they just drive right into the dealership and say, I'm ready to buy a car. Don't know what the prices are, what the options are, you have to educate them. So let's even be really, let's say 60%. And then, what are your best options? If people really want to look at your inventory, what are your best options to get more people to look at your inventory? What are our options?
Video, you've got pictures, you've got content writing.
Okay? But how do we get those cars in front of people? How? Well, we can put them on sites like AutoTraderCars.com. That's going to generate a lot of VDPs, right? Or you can try to drive more people to your website to look at your VDP. So can we agree that if we could connect in-market shoppers, we have an automated platform like Cars.com AutoTrader that is a very efficient vehicle to present your cars. And then supplementing that could be to drive more traffic to your website. Aside from that, we don't have a lot of options. So what I'm saying is looking at live inventory, right? You can do videos to do comparisons to drive interest, but we have to get people to our website. So here's an example of a General Motors dealership. This data, all of you can do. This napkin math, you can do by looking at Google Analytics. Okay? If you go to Google Analytics, and I'm going to be doing a workshop on Google Analytics, if you're having any problem at your dealership getting a budget for paid search, do the napkin math for your own dealership. If you have access to Google Analytics while you're here, do it, show me your numbers, and I'll tell you if you got it right or not. But it's this come to Jesus moment, really, for people who say paid search is expensive, or have the funnel reversed and they're really top-loading traditional. So what I did is, this is a GM store. They're getting 5,000 unique visitors, total website visitors a month. 1,279 typed into dealership name. So what's your dealership name? Hoblet Dodge. Okay. So they went www.hobletdodge.com. Okay. That would be 1,024 went right to the home page like that. 2,739 people typed in some keywords, organic, and then 1,036 were referrals. Referrals would be AutoTrader link, visit this dealership, your blog, Facebook, something where someone didn't use the search engine and they clicked on your link. Of those 2,739 visitors, 1,378 used the dealership name. So you said it was Hoblet? Hoblet Dodge. So if somebody typed in Hoblet Jeep Chrysler Dodge, Hoblet Dodge dealership, Hoblet Dodge phone number, Hoblet Dodge service, you understand? Any of those keywords, if it has your business name, I'm calling that a dealership name and search. 786 typed in used Dodge Tacoma, used Dodge for sale, whatever. And then 482 are unknown. The unknown is something relatively new when Google stopped showing the specific keyword searches for people that will log into Google. Okay? So it's unknown. But if you think about it, I'm going to be fair. The name brand organic searches is 2 to 1 over non-name brand. And this is very common. Some people say, Brian, traditional media doesn't work. Oh, it works. It just has to be part of a strategy. You know why it works? Why are all those people typing in your dealership name? Where did they become aware of that? Radio, TV, print, billboards. So there's a role for it. And then the referral traffic, where did those people come? This had a group site. Most of you, if you have 5, 6, 10, you have a group site. They also had a used car site, and they had 100 people from email. This is how they were spending their money. $100,000 in traditional, $23,000 in digital. Okay? And Adwords wasn't used at all. That Adwords stuff's expensive. Really expensive. Great. Let's do the math. Let's do the napkin math. This is how the money was roughly allocated. Okay? All right? Obviously, there's some people in this room that are heavy traditional spenders, and your choice isn't radio, your choice is cable TV. Okay? I talked to a dealership principal. It was the only time we got into a swearing match on the phone, and I try not to do that when new prospects call me. But he said, Brian, all that digital stuff, I went to your webinar, I heard that stuff, but I'm the #1 blank dealer in the state. I have 3 of the 4 OEM brands that I rock it. I said, what's your strategy? He says, I'm on television all the time, and people hate me because I'm on television all the time. No AdWords strategy, no digital strategy. I said, that's fantastic. You're the #1 dealer in the market, right? I said, you're just not the most profitable. I said, you can drive all the traffic you want. You can spend $150,000 on television. Fantastic. But I can drive additional qualified people at significantly less cost. So don't tell me that my stuff is full of, whatever. And he said, what are you trying to do? Tell me I don't know how to run my business? And I said, no, you are obviously a very successful entrepreneur. You're just wasting a lot of money. So if you don't care wasting maybe an extra $50,000 or $600,000 at the end of the year, that's not really important. I'll take that commission. I'll go head to head with you on that efficiency bet. So, remember, I'm just being really conservative. Now, if somebody uses 90% or 80% or 70%, you do the math, it gets really crazy. But what if I said that I'm going to buy into the person who doesn't believe in paid search? And this kind of sets the stage for the next 2 workshops, because once you do the napkin math, then your only logical response as an entrepreneur will be, am I maximizing my digital channels? So, am I fully optimized on AutoTrader, Check. Am I fully optimized in paid search and organic? Check. Okay, then, do I want to do radio, TV, print, direct mail? Okay. Right now, what it is, radio, TV, print, direct mail, and throw a couple thousand over to that digital stuff. That's what happens. Anybody feel that that's how your dealership budget gets done? Throw a little bone to the digital guys? Okay. So here's what I'm going to say. For the doubting Thomas, of that 100,000, this might sound crazy to you, but I'm talking to people who look me straight in the eye and say, Brian, we have lots of customers who don't use the internet. I'm going to say 60,000 is allocated for the 60% who are using the internet. That other 40%, God bless you, is going to people who just listen to your radio, watch your cable TV, or read the newspaper, don't do any work on the internet, walk right in and buy a car. So I'm not taking the 100,000, I'm just saying 60, if you say only 60% of your customers really use the internet, great. So I'm gonna take 60% of your traditional and ask this question. How effective is that 60,000 to get people to view my inventory? Right? We agreed that to sell more cars, we have to get people who are in market to look at our cars, right? So all I'm asking now, and you do the napkin math, is how good is $60,000 of traditional media to achieve our goal of connecting more in-market consumers with the cars, new and used, that we have to sell. So, formula number one, I take a very generous stance and give traditional media a lot of credit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, you know, everybody, listen to this, I'm just being generous because there are people who hate digital strategy. Brian, the reason why they typed in, you know, MarlboroNissan.com is because I plastered it on my radio. Every one of my commercials go to MarlboroNissan.com. And Brian, every one of my newspaper ads, MarlboroNissan.com. And every one of my cable spots, MarlboroNissan.com. That's the only reason, Brian, that people are typing that out. Great, I'm generous, Mr. Traditional Media Advocate. I'll give you all of that. And Brian, every one of those searches, every single one of them that has my brand name in it, that was for my radio, TV, print, and billboards. Brian, I got billboards everywhere. There's just no way that they're searching our name if it wasn't for our great. I'm going to give you 100% of that. And I'm also going to give them the relative portion of the unknowns, 2/3. I'm going to give them even a portion of the non-branded traffic. Why? Because I've had these arguments. Brian, our radio commercials that's advertising a Honda Civic for $199, if someone types in Honda Civic sales for my radio commercial. Okay? I'll even give you some of that. And then Brian, my group portal is synonymous with my business name, so some of my traditional is accidentally driving people to my group portal. I want some of that. If I take all that traffic and say that in that month, 2,939 people came because that $60,000 of traditional media drove it in, that's $20 a visitor. $20 to get someone to come to my website. Now, can people be calling? Absolutely, but my goal here is that how do we get more people to look at our cars? They have to come to our website or go to AutoTraderCars.com. Here's napkin math, formula 2. Well, Brian, you're really, really exaggerating things. People type in my dealership name just not from traditional advertising or my direct website. This particular dealer, I looked at their AutoTrader report, they had 30,000 VDP views in that month. 30,000 VDP views. When I shopped for my sit-stand desk, this is what I did. I found this weird desk. It was really cool. It's powered, rises so you can sit down and stand up. Once I found it, I opened up another search box. I copied the weird name of this desk, and I opened up and I started searching the internet for pricing. I kept this window open, right, to make sure it's the same desk, colors, and everything. Has anybody done that? Open up the second window. You know that's what they're doing when they go to AutoTrader? We are smoking our own pipe if you think that consumers understand that what's listed on AutoTrader is still there in price range. They're like, hold on, I see this at, you know, Jake Sweeney Chevrolet, so here's the car. Let me open the window, go to Jake Sweeney Chevrolet, see if I can find that same car. Maybe it's a VIN number, search, whatever. Oh yeah, here it is. It's $15,000, all right, 15. Okay, great, I'm called dealership. Do you understand that they're not just clicking the link on your AutoTrader VDP and jumping and losing that page? They're opening up. You wouldn't see that. So, wouldn't you know that when people are on AutoTrader, Cars.com, and these sites, do you understand that if they find a car that they like, is it reasonable to understand that they see the dealership's name and some of that branded search is because they were first introduced to your brand through AutoTrader, Cars.com? Understand that? Clear? So, what if I told you that over 30% of the customers that come to your website were on AutoTrader first? If we do the math, if I just reduced those numbers by 30% and say, Brian, if 30,000 vehicle detail pages for this one GM store are being viewed in that month, I gotta start to give Auto Trader some credit for those directs, for those branded searches. That's an awful lot of eyeballs on my inventory. So I said, okay, let's start to give other sources credit for some of those searches. You see what that does to the cost per visit? $29 a visitor. Here's more realistic though. And this is where the kind of come to Jesus moment happens. What happens to your website traffic if you just decided not to do radio, TV, and print for a month? What would happen? Anybody want to guess? How much would it go down? If I decided, September's here, I don't want to do radio, TV, or print, just go dark.
We've done it, it's no impact.
Okay. All right, Cablevision would hate that answer, right? So, okay, he says, it's going to stay the same anyway?
20%.
20% down?
We actually can all on TV, radio, and ours actually it's on.
Interesting.
I'd say it goes up.
So, here's what I said. Even if you said, Ryan, listen, traditional media is working, but you're still going to get a lot of traffic, residual traffic, that's the way it is. So I'm just saying, no, it's going to be a catastrophe. It's going to be a catastrophe. You're going to lose, 50% of your traffic. And then the other 50% would have come automatically. When you start to do those numbers, traditional media's ability to drive traffic now, because remember, if we stopped it, you can do any horror story. I just say, hey, traditional media is only generating half of that. The other half will come naturally. Now, some people could say, it's infinitely wasteful. Then you would have hundreds of dollars a visit. Look at that, $42. People who complain that AutoTrader and Cars.com are expensive are just dead wrong. Find for me a solution for $4,000 where you can get 30,000 VDPs, your cars, or $5,000, whatever you want. Trading Marketplace, completely different tool. And then the napkin man tells me this. If I want traffic to sell cars this month, Napkin Math says, if you really want to give everything to traditional traffic now, meaning in this calendar month I have to hit my sales goal, it's $20 per visitor, not per lead. That's just to get someone to look at my inventory. $29 if I say, no, AutoTraderCars.com and other, my blogs, my social media are getting my brand out there. $29. And if I'm really honest, will this month's traditional marketing spend really generate all of that traffic? No, a lot of it would come, what? We've been in the community for 20 years, 10 years. It's $42. So if we really want to increase the views to our inventory, we need to turn the funnel around. We need to make sure we have the best website that is compelling, that engages and converts. We need to make sure our CRM system is robust and making sure every phone and lead is followed up. When we mystery shop dealership, I would say 8 out of 10 fail. All our mystery shop tests, 8 out of 10 dealerships fail. They don't even get a C grade. Chat. Do we have 24/7 chat? Anybody not having chat on their website, honestly? I do not have 24/7 chat on my site. Okay? That's an instant 25, 30% more leads the day you turn it on in that calendar month.
And you said 24/7, so you have to have the full.
You can outsource it. I'm a big fan of off hours outsourcing. And then, are you maximizing the Cars.com and Auto Traders? Are you really leveraging that tool? Then, what are you doing for your paid search strategy, video, banner? You'll see in the next workshops. Then take a look at radio, TV, and print, social, SEO, third-party leads. But what we're doing is starting the process completely reversed. So there's your decision. You can choose to be overweighted in traditional, and I'm not saying don't do radio, TV, and print. All I'm saying is this. There isn't an unlimited money you can spend on paid search. There is a cap. If you said, what is that cap? That cap could be $10,000 a month, except for really extreme conditions. This one store was spending $100,000 on traditional. You know what I told the GM? Just give me 10% of your traditional. 10%, and I'll triple the amount of people to your website. Triple. For 10% shift. I'm not going into dealers and saying, hey, you're doing things wrong. These are dealerships that are profitable. But they don't do the napkin math to say, what is my budget doing to expose my vehicle detail pages to consumers, and what's that cost look like? So, regular text ads, in Google search, 2 to 350, display, 2 to 250, retargeting, mobile apps, really cheap right now. So, now that Google has partnered with a mobile app, and then video pre-roll ends up being around $2.50 a click. The reason why paid search is being underutilized is that because people think that throwing $3,000 at Google is sufficient. But as Anita mentioned, there's mobile, there's video, there's new, used, and service. I can't find any other more compelling reason than doing this napkin math to say, if you want more qualified people to visit your website, you can pick the keywords that you believe are low funnel or mid funnel, and you can bring them to a compelling page. But please don't tell me that we only can spend $3,000 a month, we don't have extra budget for service, and we don't have extra budget for mobile, or we don't have extra budget for video pre-roll because our traditional budget is more effective in driving people to look at our inventory. I will challenge that all day long. You cannot spend unlimited money. You cannot spend $50,000 on Google. You probably could spend $20,000. In some cases, you might be able to spend 15 in LA or something like that. I'm not talking about radical shifts. Go into Google Analytics, look at your own traffic, do the napkin math. If you don't reverse that funnel, maximize your third-party classifieds or AutoTraderCars.com, maximize your digital across all platforms. Then, whatever's left, go have some fun, create a consistent multi-channel advertising, so radio, TV, print, digital, all consistent, I'm all for that. Right now, most of you are just so far underfunded. It's like Swiss cheese. Your digital strategy is a piece of Swiss cheese. You're showing up every 20 minutes instead of every minute. You're sometimes here and other times not here. And that is the opportunity for today. Someone had a question.
Yeah, did you say mobile app? Google's partner with mobile app or mobile ads?
So there's a couple of years ago we bought a company called Adwords that basically targets the mobile display network. So we talked about the display network, this consortium of sites on your mobile device. It's the same sort of sites plus apps. So if you download an app and you're messing around and playing a game or whatever, you can actually see a text out of the app, you can see a video ad. There's a lot of different options, and so we've actually just now integrated Adwords into Adwords, so you can create a campaign easily from Adwords to target this mobile display network.
Like Words with Friends or any of these popular. If you want to be like anybody who's playing that game with an IP, mobile target in Chicago, I want them to see my display ad. Question?
Should we be doing customized landing pages for each model, or should we be doing deep linking into that model?
There are two philosophies to that. I would just say you need to invest in great landing pages. It will increase your quality score, lower your cost per click, and increase engagement. There are some great companies here that do a good job of that. I am not a fan of just spray and pray and just send them to an inventory listing page. I'm really, that does not differentiate yourself. I think that dealers need to invest in a video, hire a local videographer, get videos for service, parts, finance, new and used, your compelling business proposition, use them on these landing pages. You'll be surprised on how much more engagement you get.
Do you have any case studies of any dealership out there in the marketplace that's actually completely went to 100% digital just in that framework where they evaluate everything else to see
We
exactly what?
definitely have some.
Yeah. In New Jersey, Prestige Volvo, #2 Volvo dealer in the country, zero traditional. Okay? But I will tell you that if you ask me how many people have really maximized their third-party classified and digital across all channels, it's just growing so fast. Like retargeting and video pre-roll, we're just really pushing our clients on. The returns are unbelievable. You've got to look at the Car Commercials Ad Network. It's here, one of the vendors. Take a look at their case study for Gun Nissan in Texas. It is breathtaking. Basically, getting 3,700 people in that month to click and come to the website for under $2 a click, and another 230,000 people listen to their video pre-roll, and to me, that's free. Meaning, I pay all day long for under $2 a click for in-market customers who watch the video. The other 230,000 who didn't click, I still got my message to them like cable. So you're telling me that I can drive traffic to my website at an effective cost per click by showing them a video, and the people don't click, I'm still branding on a regular basis? I mean, if you believe in cable TV, that's all I have to say. If you are a cable TV advocate, please research video pre-roll. It is just out of this world effective, and again, move a portion, not all, move a portion of your budget. I think we are at our timeline. I hope you enjoyed part 1 of 3 on paid search strategy. I hope it's challenging your mind. We're going to take a short break in the exhibit hall now, get some coffee, and then we're going to move into mobile strategies and talk about all the options there, and then talking about campaign setup, optimization, and some of the things that are a little bit more tactical for people who really want to understand how the knobs work. So thank you very much.
And just one thing I understand is that it can be daunting to kind of do this on your own. So I work in a channel sales organization at Google in which we support partners, agencies that do automotive advertising. Some of you are already working with a few. So while I can't advocate any one partner, I can say that we do have a network of very operationally efficient, very strong partners who have been doing automotive advertising. They really know their stuff, and you can feel free to sign up with one of them to figure your strategy for you. I know it's kind of complicated.
Great. So take a break, get some coffee, visit the exhibit hall, and I hope you're enjoying AutoCon.